Sorry, folks. What's going on? Why didn't? Oh, okay. So you made it. You're here. My name is Leanne Reagan, and I am the founder of the Learning and Development Roundtable. We have been running for about 12 years now, if you can believe it. And I just want to give a special shout out, a special welcome if your world feels upside down, if you've had a lot of changes recently, if it feels like gravity is going to stop working tomorrow, maybe your job is at risk, maybe your colleagues' jobs are at risk, given all the changes, particularly in the humanitarian sector, in the development sector, in the UN. So I'm just so glad that you showed up. And if someone referred you here, if someone shared this invitation with you, please say a big thank you to them. I always love growing our learning and development roundtable community. So thank you for focusing on learning. Thank you for focusing on expanding your skills and knowledge. And I'm just really glad to be here with you. You certainly don't need to be in the development or humanitarian sector to be part of this community. However you come to be here, you are most welcome. If you are a UN staff person and you want to count this towards your UN professional development, just make sure that your screen name matches your name, because that's how we record who participated. And also, perhaps English is not your first language. You are able to change the screen name. So you can change it to one of, I think, 7 languages. So if you wish, feel free to turn on closed captioning and pick the language of your choice. The instructions how to do that are in the chat there. So once again, welcome. My name is Leanne Reagan. I will be calling, don't worry, I'm not going to call anyone out individually, but I will be saying hello to different folks on the call with us. So if I happen to mispronounce your name, please send me a message in the chat or unmute and let me know how to pronounce your name. So today I'm going to teach you 2 diagnostic tools. I'm going to share a bunch of tools with you, 6 really simple tools. They could not be easier to help you increase your resilience, your grit, and your ability to manage change. And then we'll dive into these 2 tools. We're going to look at everything from maybe you're feeling overwhelmed and not sure where to start. So I've got this really cool graphic, this cycle to show you. Maybe you feel like your resilience and your grit is really low right now. So I've got a tool I designed to help you rise, literally rise. I've got a tool I designed one day on a cold, chilly day in Nairobi, which is where I'm based. I created a tool as I was trying to get a fire started. We'll talk about my soft fire tool. We'll also look at some self-care tools, and you'll be able to get some inspiration from other folks as well as add your own. Also, we'll look at this matrix. It's one of the tools that I consistently use when I'm designing and delivering workshops for clients. And then I'll also share my bucket. That's one of the diagnosis tools. You'll be able to look at 3 different parts of this bucket and see where you're at. So that's a little bit about where we're at. Hopefully this is going to inspire you and help you get a little bit more energy and some positive outlook, depending on where you are in the world and how you're feeling. If this is your first roundtable, know that by joining, you automatically became a member. So you'll have access to all 12 years of the roundtables. Before we dive in, just a couple of things. My hope for you is that you really, at the end of our time together here today, that you feel, oh, this was a really good use of my time. So you probably have a lot of things pulling on your attention, maybe more things than you would wish. So if you find your attention wandering to that thing you've got to do, or the dinner that you might need to be cooking soon, or the breakfast, whatever time it is in the world for you, just literally do sort of an internal shh, just to kind of quiet those thoughts so that you can give yourself the gift of presence, right? You made the choice to be here, you carved out time, you actually made it here. So, really give yourself that gift of presence. And if you find your attention wandering, just silently, or you can even do it out loud, just shh, just quiet those thoughts. You can always circle back to them later. I have the pleasure of facilitating our time here together today, and I tend to focus on three different things as a learning development professional. So I design and deliver workshops that focus on working better together. So communication, conflict resolution, team building, change management, things like that. I also do a lot of work in the area of tech tools, so helping people and teams feel on top of their tech tools, and then also training trainers, so working with subject matter experts and design and deliver uh, interesting workshops. So again, in the realm of getting the most out of your time here, again, if you find yourself, this is a tough time in the world. So if you find yourself having sort of negative self-talk, just brush those thoughts away, right? Imagine that you have a little bit of a feather duster there. Please participate. I know that we have lots of wisdom, lots of skills in the group. So feel free to drop comments, questions in the chat whenever you wish. Also, the members requested a LinkedIn Learning and Development Roundtable group. So feel free, if you haven't already, you're welcome to join that. And if Facebook is also something of interest, there's also an active Facebook roundtable group, so you can keep in touch in between um, our monthly gatherings. Also, if you get value from our time together, please share the link to join. It's free, and I've just put that in the chat. Uh, and also remember, I'll give you all of the resources. So the PowerPoint deck and the video recording, the audio recording, you'll get a workbook. All of that will come to you early next week. But members did give me the feedback, Leanne, we want things faster. So the PowerPoint deck will land in your inbox the second that we finish. So that will come, the PowerPoint deck will come into your inbox there. Okay. Also, just a heads up for UN staff, if you are interested in improving your public speaking skills, know that on June the 18th and 19th, I'm teaching a public speaking workshop. So feel free to contact UNHR if you want to get more information or you want to register. So I've put that information in the chat as well. Okay, just one other thing before I'll turn it over to you in a second. But again, my desire is at the end of this time, you feel to yourself, that was such a good use of my time. And also that you are kind to your future self. And what do I mean by that? Well, you've carved out time for this learning. I really want this learning to make a difference in the future. So feel free, and as the wonderful humans that you are, I know that you have lots of tools yourself, but if you want to add to your toolbox, pardon me, feel free to use my HARP worksheet. So as a way to help you remember what you're learning. I've put the link to that in the chat. And basically, once you download it, that worksheet becomes editable. So H stands for highlights. You might want to record things that you want to take away that are highlights for you. A is action. So what do you want to do as a result of our time together? R stands for resources. I'll be mentioning lots of resources, and I'll give you a link to access all of them. So you may want to record some of the ones that really speak to you there. And then P is pictures, a way to doodle, because our brains love images. In fact, we interpret images 60,000 times faster than text, 60,000 times faster than text. So we've got our agenda ahead of us, our roadmap. I've got some suggestions for you to really get the most out of our time. I've introduced myself, Leanne Reagan. Before we jump into the content, I want to turn it over to you for a second. So one of the things that we'll be talking about is resilience. So actually, first of all, where in the world are you at this moment? So let me know in the chat. Where in the world do we have Vienna? Oh, hi, Theodosa. Oh, it's so nice to have you here. Lovely. Montreal. Oh, Claudia, hi. Oh, I'm Canadian, so Montreal, nice. We've got Buenos Aires, Cairo, Vancouver, my hometown. Hi, Kristen. Geneva. Oh, thank you, Theodosa. Lima. Hi, Caroline. Miriam in Nairobi, another Geneva. Hi, Dagmar. New York. Lovely. Okay. New Delhi. Oh, India. Nice. Another Geneva, lots from Geneva. Okay, great. Suriname, hi. Yaoundé, I don't know if I said that right. Let me know if I did it. Lesotho, Jacqueline, great. Okay, and just to kind of get you warmed up, what are some of the qualities when you think about resilience? So being strong, having a growth mindset, being able to pick yourself up after a setback. What are some of the qualities that you would use to describe resilience? So if one is resilient, what does that mean? Oh, Veronica's just coming in. Oh, Sarah's in Bonn. Nice. Flexing and forgiving. Oh, Anne, I love that. Oh, nice alliteration there. Flexing and forgiving. Nice. What else? Adaptive. Nice, Maria. Oh, that's so great. Yes, adaptive. Anything else when you think about being resilient? Being determined and focused, as Jacqueline. Theodosia, keeping. Oh, I love there's so many comments coming in here. Keeping your focus on while you're doing that in the first place. Nice. Rosalind says problem solving. Kirsten, bouncing forward. I love that. That's great. Sarah, kind and empathetic. Notice some of these are mindsets, kind of emotional states, and some of them are skill sets. So great. Alenka says inner peace. Roseman says adapting to change. Nandini says bouncing back. And again, if I'm mispronouncing your name, please feel free to send me a DM and let me know the phonetic pronunciation. Okay, need and determination, says Caroline. Nice. These are great. These are so great. Okay, well, are you ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to dive into the first of three very simple tools. We'll do three simple tools, then we'll just take a quick pause, and then we'll do three more, and then some diagnosis. Okay. Oh, and Dagmar. Hi, Dagmar saying being comfortable with the unknown. Oh, ambiguity. Oh, I didn't, when I look off screen, I'm just making notes. I didn't include, I have an ambiguity quiz where you can actually measure your tolerance for ambiguity or the unknown. I'll make sure that that gets in the workbook. Okay. Okay. So 6 simple tools. So these are really simple tools designed to kind of help you take a step back and really think about where you're at with these. You might be a rock star. You can insert whatever genre of music speaks to you the most there. Some of them you might be very strong, a rock star in, and some of them you might think, oh, I really need to put some attention there. So as you go through them, just pay attention to the ones that you think, oh, I've got this. I can kind of tick that off my list, or this is something I hadn't really thought about, or it's something I want to work on. As we go through, also make sure if you have tools and tips, techniques, things that have worked in your past, please feel free to share those. I would love to hear them, and I'll add them to the workbook. Okay, so the first of three is the social change cycle. The social change cycle. Um, I'll share a link in the chat so you can get more information on this. Also know, I'll share a link at the end of the workshop today that allows you to get access to all the links. So if you get a little bit overwhelmed by the number of links, you can just relax, knowing that they're all going to come to you both in the workbook as well. There's sort of a one-stop shop that I always share my links with. Okay, so has anyone seen this before? Mm. This social change cycle. So this is a really simple, powerful tool you can use to increase your resilience, your grit, focusing on change management. Let me know, is it new to, has anyone seen this before? Okay, so it's new to Roseman. Okay, new to, okay, great. Okay, so it looks like it's new to everyone so far, which is great. I have to say, I love this tool for its simplicity. And whether you think of this or not, I think that we're all in the business of change. So it doesn't really matter what you're doing in your line of work or the line of work that you're trying to get into, it always involves change, right? Whether you're trying to uplift people, you know, uh, doing slum upgrading, whether you're doing gender-based violence, whether you're working on climate change, whatever your area of focus is. And by the way, let me know, let me know in the chat, what's your area of focus? And you can answer that however you wish. It might be maybe you're not employed right now, or it's a field that you want to switch into, or maybe you're right in the middle of things. So just let me know, what is your field of focus? Health systems. Oh, nice. Okay. Um, so business and human rights. Oh, what a great combination, Miriam. Okay. Oh, Natalie's just coming in. Gender parity. Oh, Selma, we need that so much. Okay. Yeah, urban climate change adaptation. Yay. Gloria's saying complexity switching careers. Oh, thinking of you. Great. Okay. Okay. So whatever your area of focus is, and Jacqueline's just saying development financing. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Um, I think that it's probably a safe assumption to say that we all want to create social impact. Maria's saying water, ocean, sustainable development. Great. So in order to create that social impact, we kind of need an area of entry into this cycle. So think about the work that you're doing, the influence, the impact that you want to create. And maybe this is in your own personal realm. Maybe your job is being impacted by all the changes lately. You can also think of it personally as well. You can enter this in different ways. So one area to enter is looking at increasing awareness. So for example, Maria, I'm just going to use water, ocean, sustainable development. So maybe you're looking at increasing people's awareness, right? Just bringing attention. I say just, it's not just. So bringing people's attention to things that they don't know about, right? How much plastic is in the ocean? How much does that plastic weigh? You know, the size of a this particular landmass, etc. So you're really looking at knowledge, information, those kinds of things. Then another area to enter this social change cycle, in addition or on its own, is influencing attitudes. So, how do we get people to care? How do we get people motivated? How do we connect it to the larger vision so that people really care about these things? So, when it comes to water, ocean, sustainable development, uh, we might look at, you know, and Maria, you can probably say this better than I, but really getting people motivated, right? Why should I care that there's so much plastic in the ocean? Why, like, of all the things in the world that I should care about, how can you get me to care about that? How can you get me to be motivated? Okay, and then a third area to enter this cycle is to look at changing behaviors, right? So, how do we get people to actually change their behavior and stop using or stop or reduce the use of single plastic use? Maria, I hope I'm not, I've just dove into your area of expertise, so you could do this much better than I, but I'm just giving a couple of examples here. And I noticed Anne put inclusion and diversity as one of her areas of focus. That's a great, that's a really, really, really important area these days. And sometimes, for example, in that area, we assume that people, because they have the information, that they'll change their behavior, and we don't look at their attitudes. We don't look at why should I be motivated? Why should I be motivated to do anything? Oh, thanks, Maria. Okay, so I put that link in the chat. You can get more information there. But this is one tool to help you focus on building your resilience, your grit, and helping you deal with change. Before I go on to the second one, let me know any questions so far or any comments. Let me know there. Or give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go on to the second tool. I'll go over them relatively quickly. Again, pay attention to the ones that you think, oh, this is new for me. I haven't thought about my work or my professional development in this way. And then I'll give you a link for each of them that you can go back and get more information. Okay, I see a couple of thumbs up there. Okay, so we'll go on to the second one. Which is my RISE tool. And RISE is an acronym. So the R, the I, the S, and the E stand for something different. And I don't know where I first heard it, and I actually should look for the author of this, but I love that. Have you heard the saying that a high tide floats all boats? Like when we all rise together, everybody benefits. I'll add the link for more information. So if you want to take a deeper dive into this, feel free. But before I tell you what these stand for, so I'm sitting on a chair. You can see the back of my chair here. And I'm going to ask you, so this is kind of a way to guess, try to get a sense of what does the E and the R stand for in the acronym RISE. So I'm going to ask you to try to get me to stand up. So put something in the chat, or you can unmute. And as you say these statements or write these statements, you're trying to get me to stand up out of my chair. I'm going to put a mark under the E or the R. So put something in the chat to try to get me to stand up. And then I'm going to annotate the green. When I annotate rather, my picture will go off. So for some reason, when you annotate, the video goes off. So don't be alarmed. I'm still here. But you can unmute or put something in the chat. You're trying to get me to stand up. So what could you say to get me to stand up. Oh, okay. Dagmar's saying, please take a stretch to take care of my back. Oh, I do have back issues at some point. Dagmar, thank you. But right now, I'm going to just pause because I'm focused on this workshop. But thank you for that suggestion. So notice I've put a mark under the R. Okay, so what else could you say? Oh, so Rosamond's saying, oh, please take a 5-minute break. Okay, I would love to do that from the screen. Right now, I'm focused on our workshop, but thank you. Oh, Caroline's saying earthquake. Oh, I hope not. Thank you. Arise, oh, Leonard Kerr, Marlon. Oh, that's so good. Okay. Thank you for the invitation. I'm going to decline for this moment, but thank you, Marlon. Anyone else? Okay, Kirsten's saying stand up for one of your passions, such as learning and development. Oh, I love that. Okay, so I'm raising my hands above my head. You can't see because the camera's off, but I love that. Oh, food delivery is at the door. Okay, great. Thank you, Miriam. Let's go for a cup of coffee. Oh, Nandan, my taste buds are weird. If you can believe it, I don't like tea or coffee. It's so inconvenient, but thank you for the invitation, Nandan. Rochelle's saying, please check your chair for a loose screw. Oh, it seems a bit wobbly. Oh, okay. I will check it. I will check it after we finish, but thank you, Rosamond. Marlon saying it's time for the nap. Oh, it's time for the dash. Hardly anyone ever says that, Marlon. So yes, if I was to hear the Canadian or the Kenyan national anthem, I would actually stand up. Great one. That's again, hardly anyone ever says that. Sarah's saying someone's at the door. Pizza's here, saying Stella. I wish. I just got back from being in France for 3.5 weeks, so I don't have much food in the fridge. I wish pizza was at the door. Okay, I am going to stop annotating, but before I do this, take a look at the annotations. So there's a whole bunch under R, and there's nothing under E. So I'm just going to erase this. Actually, I'll take a quick screen grab before I erase it. So any guesses right now what E and R stand for? I know it's a hard one, but I have to erase them before I go onto my next screen. Let's just turn this on. So any guesses? E for encourage. Oh, good guess. Good guess. So remember that you had a lot under the R and nothing under the E. Oh, and oh, I love these. Energy, excellence, R for react, R for refuse, R for resist. Oh, Maria, you are kind of close. You're the closest with resist. Okay, I'll come back to this in a minute. Let's see. Oh, hey, Theodosia, yes. Evolution and revolution. Yes. Yes, you saw it from the link. I love that. So revolution. Oh, hi, Padmercy. It's nice to have you here. Um, Responsibility. I love that guess. Thank you. So revolution stands for those change efforts because again, we're on the rise tool. So the R stands for revolution, those big, bold, in your face. They're obvious. It's those things that you really can't ignore, right? So that's the revolution. That's there's a spider, fire, there's someone at the door. Like it's big, it's bold, it's obvious. E stands for evolution, evolution. So those are those quiet, soft, gentle things. And by the way, it's every time I do this exercise, always, always, always the bulk is under the R for the revolution. And I think when we're thinking of change efforts, sometimes we forget the simple, simple things that are right under our nose, right? So evolutionary change, it's like a river that can move a mountain, but it takes a long time, unless there's a flood. If there's a flood, then it's a revolution. But right, a river can actually move a mountain over a long period of time. So what could you have said under evolution? And this is so rare, like maybe twice out of 100 times do people say this. Leanne, is there anything that's preventing you from standing up? Is there anything preventing you from standing up? Or, Leanne, can we stand up together? Or, Leanne, do you want to stand up? Right? So sort of gentle, gentle things like that. So we have the E and the R for the rise of the rise. So the next two letters are the I and the S. And then we'll put it all together for this rise tool. So I stands for individual. So has anyone read the classic book, Who Moved My Cheese? Is that familiar to anyone? Um, or have you heard of that book? Okay, Maria's saying read it a long time ago. Yeah. Okay, so some of you have read it. Yeah. So it's a classic change management technique or system focused on individual, right? You have the power to change things. It focuses on you, the individual. Has anyone read the book How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi? It's such a good book. I spent a year, I pick annual projects, and 1 year I focused on DEI learning, and this was one of the books that I read. So it's typing in the chat. Has anyone heard of this book, How to Be an Anti-Racist? Okay, I highly recommend it. It is, oh, Stella's adding it to her must read to the read list. Great. So it is the polar opposite of Who Moved My Cheese. So Who Moved My Cheese focuses on individual ways to change, that you have complete control uh, of how to change things. Oh, I'm just getting an interesting message on someone DM'd me here. The How to Be an Anti-Racist is the polar opposite. So structural stands for systemic, so policies, laws, organizational practices, things that are bigger than one person, right? And which one do you think is better, individual or structural? This might be a trick question. So what do you think is better? When we're looking at change, we're affecting social change. Yeah, Claudia's both. Yeah, exactly. Both are needed, right? If we focus too much on individual, then we miss those larger, often cultural issues, right? Those really big systemic issues. And if we focus only on systemic things, then we miss what the individuals bring to the table. Yes, Padmercy, it depends on the context because you might change your ratio from one to the other. So when we put these together, and again, you'll get a copy of this deck. It'll come into your email inbox at the end of the roundtable. You'll get the workbook. So all of this is in there. So when we put this together, we end up with 4 quadrants. So this is the RISE tool is a great tool. I have so much fun with this when I'm working with teams because they come up with ideas that they never would have thought of otherwise. So you may wish to draw this out on a piece of paper and just brainstorm. Just make sure that you're getting rid of any of those voices that say, this will never work, this is impossible, this is going to cost too much money, we tried this before. That's too soon. So this is just a brainstorming exercise. Make sure that you get all those ideas out, and then you can sift through them later, right? Theodosia is saying individual because system is made from individuals. Yeah. Yeah, Theodosia. And at the same time, the structural piece, we may want to focus our attention on the laws, the policies, the procedures, the overall organizational culture, right? Those are really big, big structural pieces. So again, you can put these things together and brainstorm individual and revolutionary. Do you want an example? Let me know if you want an example in this. I don't want to take too much time. If you get the concept, we can move on, or let me know if you want an example. Okay, so one person's asking for an example. Anybody else? Okay, a couple of people are. Okay, so give me, okay, so someone put something in the chat that you're trying to change. Right, so a social change, like what is it that you want an example about? So I can take something from your focus areas, or if I see an example that comes in the next couple seconds, I'll use that one. Oh, okay. So Nandi is saying, trying to get into the habit of exercising. Oh, if you search my blog for habits, there's a ton of stuff there. I actually that could make an interesting roundtable on habits. At any rate, okay, so we'll do the habit of exercising because I saw that first. So individual and revolutionary, that's something I'm going to focus on as an individual, and it's going to be big and bold. So remember, I'm just brainstorming. This is not the point to say that's going to cost too much money, that's never going to work. So I'm absolutely just brainstorming. So an individual revolutionary might be, I am going to pick up and to I'm going to move into where they do boot camps every day, and I'm going to do nothing but focus on exercising for 2 months. I'm going to stop like, it's big, it's bold, it's very dramatic. Claudia's also said organizational change. So, an organizational change, a big individual revolutionary piece might be, I am going to gather a small group of individuals in my organization and to look at radical changes that are needed in our organization. Okay, so that's another example. Uh, Sebastian saying, I don't want to procrastinate anymore. Yeah, okay. Okay, and individual evolution with organizational change could be, so that would be, again, something focused on individual, but very subtle. So I'm going to do some research on organizational change, what the top 10 tools are to create really great, successful organizational change, right? So it's much softer, much gentler than the revolutionary piece. Okay, evolution and structural. So I'll use the exercising habit there. So that's going to be something systemic and something evolutionary. So I'm going to put out a survey to my organization to see who would be interested in starting a group exercise program, right? So it's structural, it's embedded in the organization, and it's pretty gentle. Okay, and then the last one, structural and revolutionary. I'll go back to organizational change. So that would be something really, really big and bold. Um, so we are going to change the we're going to hire one person whose entire job is to focus on radically restructuring our organization. And yeah, so let me know, does that make sense, the 4 different ones? Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we'll switch over to the third tool. So the first tool was this social change cycle, which is helpful. Like, okay, where should I enter? Which ones of these do I want to combine for really great impact? The second one is the RISE tool. Okay, thanks, Claudia. Okay, so give me a thumbs up. Are you ready for the third of the 6 tools? Are you ready for our soft fire tool? Okay, great. Okay, so this one, I don't know if any of you have ever tried to start a fire here in Nairobi, but the wood is really dense. So once you get it going, it burns forever, but it takes a long time to get going. So one cold, chilly Nairobi day, I was lighting a fire in our fireplace and it was taking a while. So I thought of you and I'm like, okay, how can I turn this into a learning moment? So I took inspiration from the fire and I made an acronym because acronyms are great and they're easy to remember. So again, this is another tool thinking about your resilience, your grit, your ability to manage change. So all fires need a spark, right? So the S in soft stands for spark. right? So thinking about if you are particularly feeling beleaguered, you're overwhelmed, you're anxious with everything that's going on in the world, or maybe your team is, you're leading a team and you really want to support them. Think about that spark, right? What is something that can really help? Maybe that spark's gone out, right? And needs to be relit. I'll put the link as promised in the chat there. By the way, if future you is watching this video, all the links are down below in the video that will be posted. So S stands for spark. What is that spark, right? That brings you that passion, that interest, that it's important to you. O is oxygen, right? A fire needs oxygen. If there's no oxygen, there's no fire. So how are you keeping that flame alive, right? How are you keeping that flame lit? Are you taking care of yourself in these really challenging times? The F stands for fuel, right? So the fire might have oxygen, but if there's no fuel, there's no fire. So in terms of a fire, we need wood, kindling, paper, something. What's nourishing you, right? Hopefully you've got that spark, you've got a way to keep that oxygen, keep it burning. But what's your fuel, right? What's fueling you? Are you sleeping and eating okay right now? Right. And then the last one is time, right? There's a rhythm to a fire. It needs that time to spark, to get going, to flourish, and then eventually it will die down. So if you look at how are you spending your time, what trends would I see, right? If I looked at your time, is there a rhythm to that time? Are you sparking? Is that initial, oh, I'm excited, I'm passionate about something. Then you've got that time you're flourishing, things are kicking along, and then you've got some time to rest, right? Some time to rejuvenate. So let me know any comments on this soft fire technique. Any comments, questions? Where are you flourishing? And where might you need some work? So some people, they don't know their spark, right? I love Simon Sinek's work, find your why. It's a great way. I'm not sure what your spark is to find your why. And you're saying food for thought. Yeah. Anyone else? How are you spending your time lately? Are you mostly sparking, flourishing? Are you rejuvenating? Or is your fire like the ashes are cold?
Can I ask a
Need
question?
Yes, yes, Roslyn, go ahead.
Yes. So you may think that you are, say, flourishing, but others may think that, you're probably just spark, you may just think that you're just a spark, and as others say, oh, you're flourishing, you're doing so well. So how do you define exactly where are you?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's a great question. Thank you for your question. I guess there's a couple of components to it. One is how do you feel, right? Like looking at how like I'm doing I think it's next month is a work-life balance and integration the topic for the roundtable. So it's a really good question for next month's topic as well. So really looking at how are you ticking off the boxes? Do you feel energized? Do you feel motivated? Are you sleeping well? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you healthy? And then how does that fit with your organization, your team, your work? Um, do you need to have a conversation? Because you mentioned that sometimes there's a difference there.
Yes.
So yeah.
So it's more your inner feeling, how you feel, where are you, and not really how others perceive probably how you feel and how they see you.
Yeah, well, it can be both, right? This is the, so you can use this as a way of taking the temperature for yourself, and you can use it to spark, haha, pun intended. You can spark a conversation with your supervisor, with the people maybe that you supervise, your team. You can use the tool however you think is helpful. Yeah, great questions. Great question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Uh, okay. Does this feel like, do you feel like we've done enough on the soft tool? Are you ready to go forward? Just give me a thumbs up. Or if you have any other questions, let me know. Okay, great. Okay, so we are roughly halfway through. We've done 3 out of the 6 tools. So I just wanted to pause. We'll kind of go backwards before we go forwards. So, in the time of so many things are mixed up right now, there's so much pressure in the world, and there's a lack, I think, of moral leadership. A lot of morals are being tested and found lacking. So these are 3 tools to support you in your grit, your resilience, your managing change. We've got the social change cycle, and feel free to enter and move around it as you wish, whether it's increasing awareness, influencing attitudes, changing behaviors. The more you combine all 3 of those tools, the more likely you are to have some social impact. Then we have that rise tool. This is a way, maybe you're stuck, maybe you're trying to move forward, but you feel like, "Oh, I'm not really sure." It's a really fun way, as long as you don't let that little voice get into your head saying, this is never going to work. We've tried this before. It's too expensive. That's ridiculous. This is just a fun exercise. Just the wilder, the better. You can always edit later, and you should edit later. But in the meantime, to put that rise tool, so we've got the revolutionary, in your face, big, bold, obvious. We've got the evolution, soft, quiet, subtle efforts. We've got the individual, which I and maybe a small group of individuals can work on. And then the structural, which is policy, laws, procedures, organizational culture, systemic culture, things like that. And then we've got the soft fire tool, which is really looking inwards, as well as using this as a tool with your team if you wish to look at your spark, your oxygen, your fuel, and your time. Okay, before I dive into the next, or we dive into the next 3 tools and then the diagnosis, I'd love to ask you a favor, please. If you're getting value from our time together, this is really a labor of love. I'm super passionate, if you can't tell, about learning and development. So I love growing our global community. If you are getting value from it, please share the link to join. It's free. You get access to all 12 years of resources, all the workbooks, all the videos, etc. Also, please mark your calendar. Once you become a member, you'll get all the invitations as well. Our next roundtable is May the 15th, and it is on work-life balance and integration. So I've put that in the chat as well. And then also, speaking of a labor of love, in the next couple of months, I'm going to be launching an online training of trainers program. So you have always wanted to learn with a cool global group of folks how to design and deliver um, workshops. There might be webinars, there might be workshops, however you wish, online, whatever. Please send me an email because I'm launching a online membership program. There will be a fee for it, but shoot me an email if you would like to get more information about that. Okay, any questions before we press on? Or any tools, any books that you want to add? Otherwise, we'll continue with the next set of 3, and then we'll do a funky little diagnosis. I'll give you 2 tools for diagnosis. Oh, Sebastian, I see that you sent an email or you put your email there, if I can ask you to just send me an email, just saying that you're interested, that would be wonderful in the membership. And I'll put you on the list. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this for so many years, and I'm finally doing it. And Sebastian, thank you for your interest. That makes me very happy. Okay, so 3 more tools. Right. So again, we're looking at ways to help you with your resilience, your grit, and your ability to manage change. So we've done 3. The next 3, one of them is self-care. And I love this quote: "You will never speak to anyone more than you speak to yourself in your head. So be kind to yourself." And I've got this really cool tool. We've done some really fun things with it with other folks. But before I share it with you, I also want to say, so during COVID, the UN asked me to design a work-life balance workshop. It's a version of that I'll be doing next month for next month's roundtable. And when I did that, I interviewed to do the research for it. I interviewed a bunch of senior HR people, and I also interviewed the ombudsman, the regional ombudsman here in Africa. And part of the piece I found was I think we need to be really careful about shouting self-care at people who actually need community care, right? So this is a beautiful example of the difference between individual and systemic, right? So we can only do so much as an individual. And if you are feeling particularly overwhelmed, anxious, depressed, etc., at all the things that are happening right now, please get some help, right? Please get some help. Okay, so self-care. I have this funky little tool that I made for you, and here is the link to it. And I'm just going to stop sharing for a second, and I'm going to switch over to that same tool. So please feel free to click on that link that I put in the chat. Just takes a minute here. Okay. So let me know in the chat, can you see the tool? Whoops. The switching back of screens is one of the things that takes the longest here. Great. Okay. Thank you, and Claudia and Gloria. Okay, so feel free to click on that link. Are any of you? Yes, some of you are in. So the link is in the chat, and basically your directions. Let me annotate the screen here. So the directions are right here on the screen, right? Sorry, I've just got someone else coming in. Let me let them in. Hang on. Once I'm annotating, I can't let someone in the, there we go. Okay. So basically, this is a tool that outlines 8 different kinds of self-care. And it's really simple and easy. It describes them at the top here. So we've got physical, emotional, social, spiritual, personal, space, financial, and work. So let me just erase that annotation there. So a couple ways you can do this is if you scroll down here, you'll see there's a whole bunch of ideas that have already been entered. So you might be in the space of, oh, Leanne, I just don't have any. I should also turn my video on when the other one's not on. So you might not have enough headspace to think of some ideas for self-care. So there are, I don't know, 130 something here for you. And you can see that the person who put that has put which kind of category that falls into. So one way you can use this is look to this for inspiration. right? So there's a ton of ideas there. By the way, I haven't scanned them for duplicates. There might be some duplicates. And if you wish, you can, starting on the first empty row, you can enter your own example. So does someone want to enter an example? You can do it on the screen or you can put it in the chat. So you can enter your own example on the first empty row. Just make sure, so you can see someone has their cursor on 138 and 139. If there's a colored bar around the row, skip to a different row because that means someone's already typing there. Spending time with plants. Oh, I love that. Okay, so I'm going to type that in here. Spending time with plants. Okay, and then what do we think, folks? Which category is that? And this is not a scientific test. Some of these can more than one category. So what do you think? Is spending time with your plants emotional, other, personal, physical, social, space, spiritual, or work? Oh, and it's not, okay, sorry, Anna. You need to be on at least row 136. Emotional and space. Okay, I just created it so you can just add one at a time. So you can go back and change that if watching a comedy show. Okay, so I'll add that here. Watching a comedy show. Okay, folks, and what do we think? What category is that? Is it emotional, other, personal, physical, social, space, spiritual, or work? Again, it can meet more than one. Personal. Okay, so we'll do personal. Okay. And then someone's reading on the hammock. Nice. Okay. So for some reason, some of you, oops, my cap's on here. Reading on a hammock are having trouble adding. As long as you're in the empty space, it should allow you to add, but I'll go in and check I'll check them as well. So reading on a hammock, what is that? Emotional, other, personal, physical. What do we think? This is the last one I'll do for now because I want to show you the next piece of the tool. But feel free to come back and I will double check the permissions because just actually I can do that right now. So reading on a hammock, what do we think? Oh, Padma say we need to log into Google account to be able to add. Oh, okay. Maybe. It usually lets people do it anonymously, but okay, I'm just going to add emotional there, but let me just check the permissions. Yeah, so it says, let me just check here. Yeah, anyone with a link, and you shouldn't have to log in. It says that you don't need to, but feel free to come back to this. You have the link, so you can come back to this. But the other thing I wanted to show you is, oh, and by the way, I have protected some of the sheet. If you're trying to type and it's not letting you, you may be in a protected space. So right up until row 137, it's protected. You won't be able to type there just to prevent anyone by mistake typing over. But I have a little surprise for you, which is if you scroll down, and this is protected too, so someone doesn't by mistake write over it. This shows you, it adds up each of the different types, right? So by far, the two most common are personal and physical. So when you go through it, if this is a tool that speaks to you and you think, oh, I want to do more of this, it could be as you enter your ideas, you may wish to add them up and see, are there types of self-care that you're missing? Okay, I'm going to bring us back to the deck, but as I do, feel free. Do you have any questions? Is anything not making sense there? Back to the deck right now. So you should be able to see the deck. Let me know in the chat. Can you see the deck now? Okay, so some are still having problems. Okay, I have made a note to check the access. Um, Caroline saying, Carrie, oh, I just came back from France in our little village that we stay in. Our little tiny place has karaoke night. A little tiny bar. It's a medieval village. It's amazing. Okay, so I will definitely add karaoke and spending time with loved ones. I'll rate them, but if you go back and think, oh, that's not the rating I would have given them, feel change it. On a pub quiz. Okay. Okay. So that is our fourth tool, right? Is that self-care. And remember that, actually, I'm going to turn off my video because then you've got two of me. Remember that not everything can be cured with self-care. And I think we get into trouble when we focus too much on self and not enough on the systemic. Okay, the fifth one. Actually, sorry, let me just pause there. Any questions on that? Any questions, comments? I don't want you to feel rushed. I will add the three things that I saw. I'll do that right after the roundtable. Okay. Nice. Tanya says all good. Super nice too. Great. Okay. Good. Okay. So, and I'll definitely check the editing. It's usually because I've locked off part of the document, so people just don't by mistake edit that. But you should be able to edit the blank spots. But again, I'll double check. Okay, this is an ancient, this comes, I don't know, 1970s. This comes from John McKnight's Asset-Based Community Development, ABCD. And it's a classic golden oldie. So I put the link in the chat there. You can download this spreadsheet or this document rather. And once you download it, you have to download it first. It becomes editable. So sometimes when we're focusing on change efforts, it's really important to make sure we're at our best and we're taking care of ourselves. We want to look at options that the RISE tool gives us, the revolution, evolution, individual and structural or systemic. And a big part of change efforts is who are we involving in our ecosystem of change? So asset-based community development, this John McKnight tool, talks about 4 different types of stakeholders. They range from friends to supporters to skeptics to opponents. And his research said that the 2 best to work with are supporters and skeptics. Because friends, they won't necessarily give you the hard feedback, right? They don't want to hurt your feelings. But if you're really trying to affect some change, people who are aligned with your beliefs, your values, the issue or issues that you're working on, those supporters are great. And then skeptics, right? People who are like, I don't know, Amy, Ann, and Audrey, I'm not sure about this. Tell me, they're interested, but they need a little bit more motivation or they need more information. By the way, a really great way, a tool, these kind of build on each other, is you can go back to that social change cycle, right? If you've got a skeptic, you can think about, okay, is it awareness I need to work on, do I think, or attitude or behavior with that skeptic? Okay, and then opponents. So this particular piece of research, now, I'm doing some work with an organization that works on preventing the use of child soldiers. So regardless, hands down, we do not want people using child soldiers in conflict. So sometimes you do need to work with opponents who have radically different views than yours, of course. But ideally, you're working with skeptics and supporters. Okay, Padma is saying, Leanne, the link for stakeholder type opens the sub. Oh, gosh. Okay. Oh, darn. Okay. Give me 2. Thank you for showing me that. I'll give you the right one. Oh, I'm so glad you noticed. Thank you. Okay, here's a new one, but just test it and let me know if that works. So let me know if that works. You are the best, all of you. I so appreciate you being here in these tumultuous times and doing the awesome, great work that you do. Um, and then come back in. It works. Thank you for being tenacious, Anne, for your patience. Okay, so let me know if that, yay! Thanks, Padmerse. Okay, I'm glad you found that out. Okay. Okay, so the stakeholder types, beyond the self-care, right? Notice that's really inward focus. That's an individual thing. And then the stakeholder types, we're moving more into that structural piece, right? Of working with other people. Okay, and then the last tool, in terms of these 6 tools before we get to the diagnosis, actually, let me pause. Any other questions? I noticed I didn't send you more information on that one. So I've probably written a blog post on that. So I'll look for that and make sure it's added to the workbook. I tried to give you more information other than the tool itself on each of the tools. Okay. Okay, then let's go to the last tool. And by the way, I know it takes, right? Oh, here Anne comes back. Great. So if you have a question about anything we've covered so far, you can ask it at any time or any resource you want to share that's worked for you. Welcome back, Anne. Okay, so this last one is this will skill matrix. Again, it is a simple tool that is, I think, very, very, very powerful. So I've put a link to more information in the chat. You can grab that. Again, if you're like, Leanne, I'm so overwhelmed with all these links, they're all going to be in one really, really easy place for you to access. So don't worry. So the will skill matrix is a simple tool if you are working on affecting change and you're coming up against some resistance. It's a really great, and it could be internal resistance. I know designing this membership program, it's been a very steep learning curve. It's been super exciting and also very overwhelming. So a really great way to kind of diagnose that resistance or, if you're having some issues, is to look at where are you or the person or people or the issue that you're working on, where do they lie? So is it in the lower left-hand side, meaning low skill and low will? Then you know you need to address both, right? So that's both a problem of skill, addressing the skill level, so some training, and the motivation, right? Someone is not motivated. And that someone could be you, right? Maybe you're exhausted and you need to go back to that self-care tool. Or in the upper left-hand side, maybe there is low will, so not very motivated, but the skills are there. So then you know your best effort, your resources would be best placed on motivation. Right? Then we go to the lower right-hand side, which is the sweet spot. That is the sweet spot. If you and your team have high will, you are motivated, you're ready to go, you're excited, you're passionate, you're interested, it's in your vision, it feeds you, it nourishes you. You've got high will and high skill. Oh, sorry, I meant the top right-hand corner there. So that's the sweet spot, right? So skilled and willing. The bottom right-hand corner is high will, so very motivated, but not high skilled. So that's simply a chance for learning, right? Some training. Okay, my friends, that is the 6 different tools. So we have gone through the number 4, the self-care tool. So you've got that spreadsheet. If you think, oh, that's a place I really need to focus, or maybe you're good on some part of your self-care, but you need some focus on some other types, you can look at that. Maybe your change is stuck because you're focusing on stakeholders. You need some support there. So you can look at that worksheet. Or maybe you're like, okay, I feel like I'm hitting my head against a wall, myself and or my team. This is a great place to look at, okay, is it an issue of will or is it an issue of skill or both? Okay, give me a thumbs up if you are ready to dive into the diagnosis. So I've got a couple more tools. Again, super simple. Pull on the tools that speak to you the most, that help you with some sort of personal diagnosis. Okay, great. Okay, so one of these tools is helping you step back and reflect. So actually, both of these tools do this, and I saw this on Facebook and loved it. So you may know that there's lots of pandas in captivity. And this panda, it's a little hard to see the bottom picture on the right-hand side of the screen. So this panda did not learn to feed itself in the wild. So it learned to feed itself by watching its keepers, right? And to eat bamboo, apparently you have to break these bamboo sticks, and it's not easy, right? I've tried to do this. We've got bamboo outside. They're really hard. So unbeknownst to the keeper, the keepers were kind of grimacing, right? They were making kind of a face as they tried to break this bamboo. So that's what the panda does, right? So this panda picked up the unrelated habit of grimacing while it was breaking its own bamboo. What does this mean? It means that, and actually, let me just play it for you here. You can kind of see it, right? So, like, right, look at that grimace, right? It's not related to the eating the bamboo. I'll play it again because it's a really short little clip. There's no sound to it. So we are often taught things around social change and taking care of ourselves and resilient. Maybe you've picked up some bad habits from your family, from your culture, from school. Maybe you were told to, just suck it up, just, put your nose to the grindstone. That's all you have to do. And if you think of that metaphor, putting your nose to the grindstone, that involves blood, right? That's painful. So sometimes it's important to take a step back and reflect. So here are a couple of tools to do just that. Does anybody know Adam Grant's work? He's a organizational psychologist, brilliant. He was the youngest tenured prof at Harvard, I think, Harvard, Stanford. Yeah, he's great. So I love this. This quote is from him. There's a fine line between persistence and obstinance. Persistence is refusing to give up on a difficult goal. Obstinance is refusing to consider a different path. Grit is not about banging your head against a brick wall. It's about looking for a way around the wall. Lots of people have heard of him. This is great. Pat Mercier follows him on Twitter. Great learnings. Follow his LinkedIn posts. Yeah, he's got a great podcast called Rethinking. I think that's what it's called, Rethinking. Just put that in the. Oh, whoops! I hit enter too quickly. Okay, so one of these tools, and you can do this at your leisure, is to measure your grit. Pardon me. So you can actually measure your level of grit. So it's that ability when it's basically when something goes sideways for you, what is your typical reaction, right? And it takes 1 minute to take that survey and it will give you a percentage. And just so you know, so and this is private, you don't have to share this with anyone, but just so you know, I keep track of the average. What's the overall average for this survey? So the overall average score, and pardon me, sorry, the last time I looked, 306 people had taken it. We had 306 respondents, and the average level of grit out of 100 was 75. So you can take that assessment as you wish. It takes 1 minute. The maximum score you can get is 100. That's very gritty, and the minimum score is 20%. And this will tell you that you'll get this once you take the survey, but this is information about it. So how I designed that, what it's based on, and etc. So that's one tool. So you can measure your grit. And I encourage you to set a reminder. So you may wish to do that right as soon as we're off this workshop. And then set a reminder and take it again in a month or 2 months, or take it every month and just see, is that score going up or is it going down? And of these tools, of these 6 tools I've shared with you, other than the diagnosis tools, what can you focus on to help you with your grit? Okay, and then another tool, and we'll be covering this too next month on the work-life balance and integration, is your diagnosing your own stress level. So there's this bucket text here. Oh, Theodosa, I've got to go. Oh, you're so welcome. It's so nice to have you on the call, Theodosa. Thanks for joining. And again, at the bottom of the hour, you'll get the PowerPoint deck and the workbook and all the recordings. Everything will come to you early next week. Thank you for your time. Okay, so the worksheet looks a little bit like this image here. Again, you have to download it first to make it editable. It's not editable until you download it. And it asks you to think of 3 different things. So your stress, your stress, and your distress. So your stress, I'll start with the one that probably I'm sure everyone knows. Your stress those are the things, and it'll ask you to put those kind of in the appropriate place on the graphic there. So the stresses are those things that are causing you some stress, but it's manageable. It's not keeping you up at night. So what's an example of a stress for you? And don't share anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, but what would be an example of a stress for you? So it's causing you a little bit of stress, but it's not keeping you up at night. Okay, sorting out my finances. Oh, by the way, so what someone says causes them stress might cause someone else stress and might cause someone else distress. So you define you and know that for other people, they might put that in a different category. Okay, approaching deadlines, taxes. Yes, these are great examples. Okay, and then distress. Those are the things that keep you up at night. That really cause you a lot of stress. So any examples that you're willing to share? Don't share anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, but deadlines. Okay, so notice someone said deadline was a stress and someone else said deadline was a distress, right? For me, the state of the world right now, I'm Canadian. We have an election. I traveled all day yesterday. I didn't get home till midnight. I was exhausted, but I got up early because I got my ballot. I got it to DHL because I've got to get that thing couriered back to Canada for the vote because it's a really important time in our country's history right now. Online conflict, finances. Yeah, exactly. And again, notice for some people, they're putting the same thing in stress and other people are putting it in distress. Okay, does anyone know what does stress mean? Most people haven't heard of that term before. So any guesses what stress means? And I didn't make that. It sounds like something I made up. It's not. Yeah, the good sort. Yeah, exactly, Anne. So it's something that causes you a little bit of stress, but positive. right? So on a personal note, maybe you're going on a new date, or like not a new, you're dating someone new. So you're excited, you're nervous, but it's in a good way. And on a work note, maybe you got a new promotion, or maybe you have a new job. Like it's something that's exciting. It's stressful, but it's exciting. For me, it's my online membership that I'm designing. It's all sort of ooh stress, right? I'm so excited about it. And it's a bit stressful sometimes, but it's the ooh stress kind. Yes, Nandini, yes, an additional responsibility. Now, for some people, they could put that in stress or distress. It depends on how you react to that. So, as a diagnosis, feel free to uh, download this thing and then look at how many things do you have in stress? How many things do you have in stress and how many things do you have in distress? And the reason why it's a bit of a diagnosis is that we know if you have a lot of things in distress, then that likely means that you need to have some attention paid to that, right? Maybe some medical attention, some self-care, some counseling, whatever works in terms of your world, your culture, etc. Okay, that brings us to swinging into the conclusion. So we have done two different diagnosis tools, right? Because I think we need to diagnose, right? We might have picked up some bad habits along the way. So we've got the grit survey. You can actually measure your level of grit. And then we've got this tool to help you look at what's your stress level like right now? How much is in stress? How much is in stress? How much is in distress? And then you've got these six tools. So which of these tools do you feel strongest in? And which tool do you think, oh, I want to need to spend some more time on that? And oh, like the closure survey. Yes, the ambiguity. That is such, I'll make sure that's in the workbook. That it says on the end of the survey, it comes from, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the book right now. But it's fabulous, really, really great. I learned a lot from reading that book and designing that ambiguity survey. The social cycle. So, Rosamond, is that the one you want to work on or the one you feel strong on? Okay, Padre says strong in self-care, work on the stakeholder. Nice, nice. Tanya, I have to run, but thank you so much. Really interesting and very sorry having missed this one part. You're so welcome, Tanya. It's all recorded, so you can feel free to grab the last few minutes if you wish. You're strong in that one. Okay, Rosalind, great. Okay, anyone else? Which one do you feel like, I got this, I feel strong? And which one do you like? Oh, I could really use that one. Strong in soft fire, and we'll work on stakeholder types. Nice, Nandy. Uh, oh, and I've got a DM. When someone DMs me, I don't say their name, but I will, if it's appropriate, repeat what they're saying. Um, oh, someone's asking about the bucket. Yes, the bucket worksheet will be in the worksheet. So you can download that. And yes, you get access to all the resources. I'll talk about that in just a minute. Absolutely. Okay, yeah, basically every time I do a roundtable, you always get access to audio recording, video recording, a workbook, PowerPoint deck, and then you get access to all the links in another way too, which is really easy to access. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, any questions as we are in our conclusions right now? Any questions? Anything not clear? Or any resource that you want to add that's worked well for you? Mm. And failing that, I'd love to know, um, how will you use your learning? Oh, How will you use your learning? Any guidance working with people who don't want change? Oh, yes, I have a tech personality survey. Um, and I will put it in the workbook. So it will help you. You can fill it out from your perspective, and it's super, super short. And you can either ask the person to fill it out, or you can also fill it out from their perspective. And it gives you a lot of insight. There's four different change types: armadillos, ducks, dolphins, and turtles. And we tend to think that our type is the best, but there's actually pros and cons to each four. So hopefully that will help, Pat Mercier. And again, I'll put that, if you want to hang on after I stop the recording, I'll find the link, but I'll definitely put it in the workbook as well. And saying, I need grit this week. Some big issues going on in my communities. We'll think about how social change and stakeholders might work for our group. Lovely. Oh, I love that you know that, Anne. I wish I was a dolphin, but I'm a duck. Okay. And you know what? There's pros and cons to each one. There's pros and cons to each one. Okay, anyone else? What are you going to do with your learning? What will you do with your learning? As you think about that, just high five and hands up. These are all the things that you did. We did these 6 tools. I gave you 2 tools to help you diagnose yourself. Hopefully, you're feeling a bit more inspired and hopeful. Um, you can count this towards your UN professional development. I'll give you the link to do that in a second. And as a member, you get access to all 12 years of Roundtable resources. Hi, Gloria. Gloria's saying, I will build a simple personal dashboard with the tools shared. Ooh, a tech person. I love that. That's awesome, Gloria. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Anybody else? Because I'm so grateful that you showed up, and I really want you to take this information and do something with it after we finish. Okay, and saying, as a non-UN person, I really celebrate you all. The world needs you all. Yeah, everybody, right? Everyone's digging in and doing their best at a very difficult time. Ojimoka saying, please, do we get a certificate? Oh, you don't get a certificate, but you can, if you're a UN staff person, count this towards your UN professional development. Yeah, Claudia saying, I will definitely share these useful tools with colleagues, and put them into practice. That's great, Claudia. Yay. Rosamund, I will share with colleagues. Wonderful. Yeah, especially the surveys. It's great to sort of take the surveys and compare results in a learning way, right? Not, oh, I did better than you, right? But in a collaborative, curious learning way. Dagmar, will take 2 to 3 tools and look how to use for myself and also for my teams. Hey, great, Dagmar. Okay. I'm getting a DM. How do we put this in our UN learning development? Oh, so any technical question about how to count this, it's best to talk to your HR, UN HR, but I will give you a link in a moment that it's like the attendance sheet for this. Okay. Okay, so in closing, please, again, if you found value in this time, please share the link with 1 or 2 colleagues right away. I love, love, love. As a learning and development person, I'm so biased, but I think learning can and does change the world. If we come to be in a place of learning, it means that we're open, right? We're vulnerable, we're open, we're saying, I don't know everything, and I'm open to learning. So please share that link. If you are a UN staff and you want to count this towards your UN professional development, you need to put your name on that list, on that form that I just said, that I just put in the chat rather. And then also our next roundtable is May the 15th, and it's on work-life balance and work-life integration. So I put all the upcoming dates there. If you have ideas for roundtable topics, please send them my way. I'd love to hear. I don't have all the roundtables planned for the year, so I'm always looking for new ideas. Also know that when the workbook will come to you that has all the resources, and also you'll have just received the PowerPoint deck. It will have gone into your email inbox just now. And you'll also get an audio recording and a video recording. The video recordings are time-stamped, so you can skip ahead to the part that you may specifically be looking for. And also I use a tool, it's a social bookmarking tool called Digo. So I'd love to know, as I'll share it with you in a second, but what's your key takeaway? What's your key takeaway? And what will you, if you haven't already said, what will you do with your learning? I know some of you have already answered this. And while you're thinking about that, this tool I use called Digo, basically you bookmark things online, and then with one link, which I just shared in the chat, and if future you is watching you, it'll be down below in the video, you can get all of those links. So lots of different ways to get all of these resources. Okay, and then another reminder, if you are a UN staff, please feel free, if you would like to sign up for this public speaking course that I'm teaching through UNON. I'll just put that in the chat there. So this one is for UN staff only, but if you're non-UN and you want to talk to me, just send me an email and I'd be happy to talk to you about it. Dagmar, diagnose, reflection, and application. Nice, great. And as always, if you want to contact me about me doing a specific workshop for your team, just let me know. I'll give you the link actually right now. I thought it was in the thing, but it's not. This is a link to my workshop catalog here. So you can see all the workshops that I have designed and delivered. You can take a look there. Okay, so thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up in troubled times. Thank you for being open to learning, for being in community. Your voice is important. Your work is important. Gloria saying, thank you, Leanne. This is my first roundtable and I'm leaving with some great info from here. See you in the next one. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, if I can ask everybody to unmute, if you don't mind, and you can just say goodbye to everyone and maybe send a wish. So everyone unmute, unmute, unmute. And in whatever language you wish, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Teşekkür ederim. Left
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You are the
Thank
best.
you.
Aw,
Teşekkür.
thanks everybody.
Buradan getir.
Please stay well, stay safe, stay curious, stay learning, and hope to see you next month at the roundtable. I appreciate you. Just gonna stop the recording there.